Peterson presents the true adventures of Junior G-Men.
The Junior G-Men are on the air. Speedy's your home, ready for action.
Stand by. All Junior G-Men, stand by. Stand by for the thrilling details of the missing witness. Junior G-Men, stand by for reporter Junior G-Men Dave Steele concerning
The missing witness.
report number 978 in 3 parts is given by operator Dave Steele of Glenridge. Part 2.
I suppose you remember about my having a job in Mr. Bergen's drugstore, and that one afternoon while Jim Keeler, the clerk, and I were working around, Mr. Bergen had quite an argument with a gangster who'd been trying to sell him protection. Although Mr. Bergen refused to have anything to do with him, the gangster said he'd be back that night for a final answer. Well, about 11 o'clock that same night, Jim Keeler came to our house and told Dad and me Mr. Bergen had been murdered. It seemed that Jim had gone back to the drugstore at about 10:30 and had seen the gangster come out of the store, get into a car, and drive away. A couple of minutes later, Jim discovered Mr. Bergen lying behind the counter, dead. Well, after telling the story, Jim went down to District Attorney Warner's office with Dad and identified the man in question as Nicky Spyro, a well-known gangster. He was immediately brought in, charged with murder, and held for trial. The following evening, I found Jim's wallet on the floor of our living room, where he must have dropped it the night before. I took it around to his apartment, and then, while we were talking...
Uh-oh. I bet that's another one of those reporters. Look, Dave, unless you want to be answering questions the rest of the night, you'd better slip into the kitchen.
Okay, Jim, whatever you say.
That's it. Now, hurry. I won't answer that knock until you're out of sight.
Right. All set now, Jim. Fire when ready.
Okay. Just a minute, will you? Have a heart. Well, what? Oh, good evening.
Your name's Keeler? Jim Keeler?
Yeah, that's right.
That's all we want to know. Come on, boys.
Okay.
Oh, now, wait, what's the...
Back up. Go on, back up.
That gun, you wouldn't...
Close the door, Red.
Okay, Maisie. Let me see this said and done.
Oh, who are you? What do you want?
We want you, Jim Keeler. And it kind of looks like we got
Well, who are you?
friends of Nicky Spyro's. Good friends.
You're gonna...
We're going to teach you to keep your mouth shut, Keeler. Especially when...
Maisie.
Yeah? What do you want, Red?
Well, I just happen to think, suppose there's someone else in this apartment. Someone else, besides this
Oh,
guy.
I never thought of that. Maybe you'd better have a look around, boys.
No, I tell you, there isn't anybody...
Go ahead, boys. I'm beginning to think your hunch was a good one, Red. As for you, Mug, keep your hands at your sides.
Oh, now, listen, I
Shut
didn't
up.
Maisie! Maisie!
Yeah?
There is someone, a kid. He's here in the kitchen.
Well, bring him out, Red. Let's have a look at him. Yeah. Now, let's have a look at him.
Well, you heard
Just
what
for
she
luck.
said, kid.
Yeah, but...
Go on, get moving.
Okay.
Oh, listen, I don't know what this is all about, but that boy
Shut
didn't have
up.
anything...
Here he is, Maisie.
Come on over here, kid. I want to talk to you.
All right, whatever you say.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name's Dave Steele, and I used to work for Mr. Bergen.
So you used to work for Mr. Bergen. Well, now...
He hasn't anything to do with this, not a thing.
No? Well, I ain't so sure of that, Keeler. That's why he's coming with us.
You mean you're gonna...
He's coming with us. And so are you.
But that's kidnapping. Yeah, that's what it is, kidnapping, and you can't get away
Call
with
it
the thing.
whatever you like, big boy. It don't make much difference.
Well, why are you
to us.
doing this? What's it all about? I don't know what...
Nicky Spyro's a good friend of mine, Keeler. And he's in jail. Charged with murder.
Well, that's not my fault.
No? Well, we kind of think it is. Me and Nicky's gang.
But I only...
You went to District Attorney Warner and told him you seen Nicky coming out of the drugstore just 2 minutes before you discovered Bergen had been murdered. You did tell him that, didn't you?
Well, I...
Didn't you, Keeler? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and it's true. I did see him, just like I said.
Yeah? Well, we're going to see if we can make you change your mind about that. We boys.
But you can't go through with this. You've got to give me a chance to
Look
explain
at
it.
him, boys. What a laugh. The state star witness needs crawling already. Well, I got an idea there ain't going to be no star witness, Keeler. But by the time Nicky's trial comes up, you ain't gonna have nothing to say.
You're not going to kill me.
Oh, I don't know, Sheila. That all depends.
On what?
On you. Now, but come on, we gotta be getting along.
Where are we going?
To meet the boys, Keela. Nicky's pals. They decided to throw a little party for you. One you ain't gonna never forget.
Oh, give me a break, will you? Don't make me...
On your way, Keela. Get moving. That goes for you two kids.
I didn't do anything. I didn't
You
even...
were here when we walked in.
Yeah, but
You were hiding in the kitchen.
Well, that doesn't
You
say that
heard
I...
what we said all about our being friends with Nicky Spiros. And that means you know too much.
What are you going to do to me?
Oh, that's up to the boys. Oh, but don't you worry, kid. No matter what happens, we'll take good care of you. Yeah. Very good.
So Jim and I were forced to accompany Maisie, Red, and the other gangster to a car parked in front of the apartment house. After driving about half an hour, we finally pulled up in front of a small roadhouse just outside the limits of Glen Ridge. Then, after Maisie, Red, Jim, and I had gotten out, the other gangster drove the car away. We walked around to an entrance at the rear of the building, and then...
You know, Maisie, business must be good.
What makes you think so, Red?
Well, look at all them parked cars.
So what? Most of them belong to the boys in the band. But go on, will you? Lock that door.
Okay, Maisie, whatever you say. Kind of chilly out, ain't it?
You're telling me. Sooner we get inside, the better I'll like it. How about you, kid?
Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd kind of like to stay out here, alone.
Hear that, Red? The kid's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe you'll need it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, look here. This has gone just far enough. I'm not going to
Shut
let you
up, Keela, and step inside.
All right. I will. But you'll never get away with this. Sooner or later,
You
you'll
know,
find...
Keela, you've got a bad habit. You talk too much. Now move. You two kids.
Okay.
That's it. All right, Red. You can close the door now.
Okay.
Make sure it's locked.
Sure, Maisie, sure.
Well, Keela, just in case you're interested, this happens to be Nicky's private office.
You mean
He owns the joint, and he runs it on the level, too. Of course, it ain't exactly what you'd call a paying proposition, but then it does make a swell hideout. Red,
Yeah?
go on out front and tell Slim we're here.
Okay.
Tell him to get the boys together. Oh, yeah, you better tell him to get rid of the
Oh,
band.
but the customers, Maisie, if there ain't no music...
If there ain't no music, they'll beat it. The sooner they go, the sooner we can get down to business.
But, Maisie, I don't think
The
we ought...
trouble with you, Red, is that you don't think. You can't think. Because you got nothing to think with. Now, look, all you have... Oh, but I'd better take care of it myself. Come on, I'll go with you.
But what about the Keeler and the kid?
Oh, they'll be okay. We'll lock them in.
But I don't think we ought to leave them alone, Maisie. After all, you know...
Listen, Red, get this straight once and for all. While Nicky's in jail, I'm giving the orders. That's the way he'd want it, and that's the way it's going to be. Now, come on. Let's go.
Okay.
You locked that other door, didn't you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then. Oh, by the way, Keela, those windows are barred. Well, so long. See you later.
Well, gee whiz, it kind of looks like we're in a jam.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right, Dave. Well, I'm not licked yet. I can't afford to be. I'll find a way out. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll find a way out.
Yeah, but that's just about impossible. After all, both those doors are locked and the windows are barred.
The windows. Oh, those bars. If we could manage to loosen one of them, just one. If we could only... Oh, come on, Dave. We've got to try.
And now I'm going to try to give you an idea of what was happening back in Glen Ridge. Naturally, my parents had begun to worry about me, and Mom finally got Dad to drop around to Jim Keeler's apartment to find out whether or not I'd been there. As soon as he arrived, he went straight to the boy at the switchboard. And then...
I beg your pardon, but can you tell me where I can find Jim Keeler's apartment?
Yes, I sure enough can. But it ain't going to do you no good. Now, if you expect to find him in that apartment, no, sir, it ain't going to do you no good at all.
And why not?
He ain't in.
Oh, he isn't.
No, he ain't. I seen him go out more than an hour ago. He ain't come back.
I see. I don't suppose he left word when he'd be back, did he?
No, sir. Fact is, he just didn't say nothing. None of them did.
None of them. Then there was someone else with him?
Yes, sir.
A boy, a lad about 14?
Yes, sir.
I see. Well, if that's the case...
There was a lady, too.
A lady?
Yes, sir, and two men. They all went out together.
You're sure of that?
Yes, sir. They're sure enough scared, too.
Scared? Who looks scared?
Mr. Keeler and the boy. Yes, sir, this sure looks scared.
Well, that's funny. That's very funny. Why should Dave and Keeler look scared unless I wonder.
And now back to the hideout. Jim and I went over each of the windows from top to bottom, checked every bar, and finally had to admit that it was hopeless. We noticed in the meantime that the band had stopped playing. And before long, Maisie returned to the office with a bunch of the toughest-looking men I'd ever seen. They grouped themselves all around Jim Keeler, and then...
All right, boys. Let's get started. Stand up, Keeler, so we can all have a good look at you.
Well, what's the idea? What are you going to do to me?
What's the matter, Keeler? Losing your nerve? Turning yellow?
Well, why don't you give me a break? Why don't you tell me what you're going to do?
I did tell you, Keeler, back in your apartment. I told you we were going to teach you how to keep your mouth shut, especially when you got nothing to say. All right, boys, let him have it.
No, you can't.
You thought I meant a dose of lead, didn't you, Keeler? Well, I didn't. The boys have a few questions they want to ask you, that's all. Just a few questions. And if you're a smart guy, you'll give the right answers. Go ahead, boys. He's yours for the asking.
Hey, Keeler.
Yeah?
Is it true you seen Nicky Sparrow coming out of the Bergen's drugstore last night just before you discovered the murder?
Yeah, it is. Oh. Hey, what's the idea of knocking me
Now,
down?
it's one of the rules of the game, Keeler. The game we're playing. Every time you give a wrong answer, we knock you down. Now get up, stand on your feet, and then we'll start all over again.
Oh, wait a minute, will you? Have a heart. After all, I
I
didn't...
told you to get up, Keeler. You better do as you're told.
All right.
You
I'll
didn't
get
see
up.
Nicky, did you, Keeler?
Yes, I did.
He wasn't anywhere near the store, was he?
He was. I tell you, no matter what you do.
You only thought you seen him, didn't you, Keeler?
He was there. I saw him coming out. Oh,
You ain't going to testify against him, are you, Keeler?
yes, I am. I tell you, I am. Oh,
You're going to deny the whole story, ain't you?
I can't.
You're going to tell him you lied, ain't you?
No, I'm not. No matter what you do to me, I'm not. He was there. I saw him. He was there. He killed Burger, here. He killed Burger. That's my story. I'm going to stick to it.
Stand by. All Junior G-men, stand by. Stand by for thrilling details concerning the next broadcast. Calling all Junior G-men to proceed at once to points of duty. Calling Junior G-men 984 to report to Director Donald Peterson at the next meeting on this station to give detailed report concerning
The missing witness.